Hi, rock and roll daycare teachers and nannies. It's Barb. It's Tuesday, which means it's our Tuesday Training Tools Day. As always, I hope everyone's having a great start to the week and happy March. Wow, so excited to be welcoming March in. That means spring is coming. That means daylight savings time is coming, and we get to have longer days and more sunshine. And I think we all need that right now. And it's a new month, which means we're on a new theme for our Tuesday training tools. And this is a theme after coming on the anniversary of COVID, I think is very needed. This month, we're going to be talking about you, the teacher's development. We talk about the classroom, we talk about children, we talk about things we should be observing with children and, materials and everything. But we need to really carve out some time and talk about your professional growth and development and your role as a teacher and educator in both centers, classrooms, and home environments. um, it goes without saying that if you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others, and that can be extremely difficult, and it's the most difficult it's ever been due to COVID. Being a teacher during this pandemic has been extremely challenging. And I have so much respect for any educator that has been in these classrooms day in and day out with the shortage of staff and lack of resources, and changing our philosophy and curriculum to really be meeting the needs of regulations and safety. It has not been easy. And I know that stress levels are extremely high, just in general. So I'm really thankful that we get to spend this month talking about you all, and to help you deepen your acknowledgement and of your development and what you want to do, and why is this teaching practice meaningful to you, and what are some ways that you can be more successful in that journey. Just really, really important. So I know a lot of you, either in my previous trainings or through the open door training, have taken the Enneagram tests or different personality tests. And I always love that as a starting point. I'm not going to ask you to do it again because I know that a lot of you have done it. If you have not done it, I invite you, and I can give resources of where you can take these tests. And I love that as a starting point when we're talking about teacher development, because I think it's really important to just have, again, this acknowledgement of, who am I? What are my strengths? What do I like? How do I like to learn? How do I deal with confrontation? How do I take in information? If we're not aware of those, different attributes, or like I said, those strengths or weaknesses, then we can't, we have a harder time guiding, our professional growth, and supporting, ourselves and what we need or what we want to give. So really important to start there. So again, I welcome you to either revisit those results if you've taken them, or if you haven't, to, if you do have some time, which I know is so rare right now, to check it out, because I think it's a really important part of your self-reflection and development. But instead today, I want to focus on kind of like the life cycle of a teacher, and kind of start our training there for the month. Similar to children, and again, our focus is always on children. Similar to children, we are trying to, we see them go through a cycle. We know their sensitive periods, and we know how they learn. It's the same thing when a new teacher starts. When an adult learner goes ahead and starts their journey as a teacher, they go through cycles. And I think it's really important to understand those cycles, to know where you are in the cycle, because it can help with your team, or with you, with yourself as well, and where you want to kind of direct your professional goals, and what you want from your career, or what you want from your teaching experience. So let's see, I'll pull this up. So there's just this little chart, and it's not fancy because I am not a graphic designer, but I thought it would be a helpful, a useful tool just to have some type of visual. So essentially we have stage one, and stage one is right over here. We're going to start this way, kind of go that way. So stage one is the brand new teacher. You know, maybe you just finished a training course, or you just got certified, or just any point of where you're just beginning that teacher journey. And it's great because ignorance is bliss. And we don't know what we don't know. We're a new educator in training, and we're just so very excited to learn. We're ready to take on anything. You know, we're embarking on this really exciting journey. And so you're in this sensitive period of like, yes, I want to learn this. I want to do this. And it's really exciting for you. And I think the greatest part of this stage is that we don't know what we don't know. So, things really aren't as tough as they might be in other stages. We're taking in all the information, and we're just super excited. So when we think of this newer teacher who's just joining, and they're in this sensitive period of wanting to learn, that's giving us that information of what type of information we're going to give that teacher, and what type of trainings, and just making and they help to infuse in that really like exciting passion of like, oh yes, I'm so interested into a classroom. And I think that's what's so great when you do welcome a new teacher who's in training, because they have that energy. Okay, so that's kind of stage one, like super excited, yay, let's do it. Then we're going to go down to stage two. Okay, and this is when we start to begin to realize what we don't know, and that maybe things don't always go as planned, or you're starting to struggle and have a hard time, and we become aware of what we don't know, so that we can focus on what we need to get better on, right? So maybe you had a training, you're like, this isn't really how it was presented in the training, or maybe things just aren't clicking. And it's also being okay with the not knowing, and then embracing that process, so we can get better at what we're doing. We're realizing we want to be a team player. We do want to fit in, but we're looking for direction, and we're kind of needing help. And it can feel really frustrating at this stage, because at one point you thought this was something that was really exciting and maybe easy. And now maybe you have a new class that's really difficult, or a co-teacher, or again, you're just kind of feeling like you're ill-equipped, or your training only got you so far, because essentially trainings, it's you have to apply it to the classroom. Okay, so at this stage, really like to highlight that finding a mentor is key. And in our program, we have our directors and our program specialists, but certainly any co-teacher can act as a good mentor, as if someone's been there, or anyone that maybe from your training, or someone that's just going to really be a mentor, because this stage is that time of like asking questions, and kind of just figuring out where those challenges are. And every teacher goes through it. So maybe you're kind of feeling, oh, I'm in stage two right now, and I kind of feel like I'm in a rut. That's okay. This is part of the cycle. We have to go through this stage to understand what we don't know, right? Like I said, it helps us to embrace that wanting to learn, and that asking questions and figuring it out. So if you're feeling like you're in this stage, maybe finding a mentor, or just like some type of assistance. And I certainly am always here, and love, to help guide with whatever is needed. And I know anyone in the administration would love to guide that as well. So just again, recognizing and acknowledging it, so you can be, more aware of where you are in this process, so you can help better support yourself. Okay. So then after stage two, we're getting into stage three, and it's like, okay, I made it through those challenging times of where I was questioning myself, or I'm not in the beginner stage anymore. I have a little more confidence. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned about the children. You just really feel a little more experienced. You still don't have everything figured out, but you're feeling better overall. Like you're able to navigate things better. And you're finding, your identity as a teacher, like what your style is, what, again, maybe how you prefer to run things in your classroom. And you have that confidence that you can do that now. It's not so much following, I've learned it. I've asked the questions. And it's, you're really understanding where you are as a teacher. But what's exciting at the end of this stage is that you're realizing that there's so much more to learn. Even though I got through the tough parts, and I was, went through my training, like you are, you understand, like, I want to learn more. I want to keep going. There's something else that here for me in this teaching. I've been in the classroom, and I notice I don't put time frames on this. Because I think it's very different for every teacher, but it's your own, cycle or journey. But you're kind of like at this point, like, I want to do something maybe a little more, with my teaching, and that could be endless possibilities. But you do have that yearning of like, there's something else here for me, and I want to learn and explore it. And that brings you up to stage 4, which is like the professional veteran, right? Like, you've been on the journey and you've come back and you're ready to share information with others. You're ready to take on that leadership. Um, and guide other teachers, and mentor others, and become that mentor that you needed in stage 2, and just share your love of the work, and really give back to a teaching community. So that would be that'd be stage 4, and that's kind of the cycle, like, and that's the way that teachers can go in when they start their training journey. So in thinking of those 4 stages, I want you to um, really, understand, where am I? What stage am I in? And share that with your teaching team. If you're both in stage 2, like, what supports you're going to put in place if you're kind of both feeling like, oh, I don't know, like, what mentor are we going to get? Like, what questions are we going to ask? What's going to help us able to get to stage 3? Or if you're in that stage 1, like that great ignorance is bliss, and you're just taking in all the information, like, be sharing what you're seeing through your eyes with maybe a teacher that's been there for a while, or maybe you're at that kind of like that 3, 4, like, I don't know, I'm kind of ready for something else. And maybe be making some professional goals within rock and roll to say, maybe I'm interested in a program specialist role, or maybe I'm interested to learn more about different certifications so I can continue to learn. Really important that we always have this growth mindset of wanting to learn, wanting to, do different things, and there's no right or wrong with that. So yeah, that's what I hope you will do with your with this information this week, and we will continue to reflect on the teacher and the different development of the teacher throughout the month of March. If you have any questions, then certainly always reach out to myself, your program specialist, or your director, and we'll be happy to help you. But again, just really looking forward to this training topic as we come on the year anniversary of COVID, and hope that we can, you know, deepen our understandings of ourselves and take that time for ourselves, which can be so challenging sometimes. So thank you, everyone, and I will see you next week. Happy learning.